In the first reading today, Job cannot bear any more of his sufferings. He who was rich and respected in society has lost everything. He lost his house, his children, and he even lost his health. He is a righteous man and does not understand all that is happening to him. Why has life passed from joy to sorrow? And why so much suffering? What wrong did he commit to deserve it? What does God do from heaven, looking at him, reeling with pain and filled with shame, without apparently even lifting a finger to help him? Job is angry at God, and Job has got plenty of reasons to be angry. By crying out his despair to God, Job appeals to someone who really exists for him and who can hear his complaint. It is as if a tiny ray of hope tried to pierce through his nights of misery. Therefore, paradoxically, his anger itself is a prayer and becomes a path to prayer. At times it happens that we are put in the same situation as that of Job. We go through trials and sufferings like he did, and it can be really difficult. We don't know where to turn. Poverty, sickness, or death affects us, and we feel like crying out against heaven. What does God do with all the suffering in the world? Today's gospel shows us what God does. At the time of Jesus, there were neither newspapers, nor television, nor WhatsApp, nor Facebook, and there wasn't even radio in Capernaum. And yet, news travelled all over the country at great speeds. The son of a carpenter coming from Nazareth and staying at the house of Simon and Andrew is working wonders. That is today's headline news. He makes fever fall, heals the sick, drives away evil spirits, and says that a new world is round the corner. The mother-in-law of Simon is in bed with a fever. Jesus takes her hand, still hot with fever, and raises her up. To stretch out one's hand and raise up somebody, and to grasp the hand offered and to rise up onto one's feet. These two movements go into the building up of a Christian life. They give the momentum for life to go on. Once she is up, Peter's mother-in-law starts serving others in her turn. Can you imagine, straight from her sickbed to the kitchen? In Jesus' presence, evil and death are conquered. They give way to life. The verb to rise up here evokes the resurrection. It is a Sabbath day. In the evening we see Jesus face to face with suffering. At sundown, the whole town came crowding round the door. Since the Sabbath ends with the setting of the sun, the people can bring their sick to Jesus with the appearing of the first stars. Everybody is pushing at the threshold. The sick, the disabled, the possessed, the crippled. Many in the crowd are like Job, men and women broken by violence, pain, and incomprehension. And Jesus heals, and he heals till night falls. And then, early in the morning, he gets up and flees away all alone into the desert. He too is tired and sick because of all the healing he did, and also because of all those he did not and could not heal. I am sure, look at him walking through the streets and across the fields in the darkness of the countryside. He seeks out solitude and silence. He goes away to a deserted place. There he stops. He prostrates himself on the ground. He takes the time to plunge back into the intimacy of his Father. He prays. He prays and reconnects to the source of life. From that source he draws strength and compassion for all those to whom life has not been kind enough, all those who seek solace and healing and remedy for their pains and sufferings. Simon and his companions start looking for him, but he is no more in bed. They finally find him in the desert. "Come back, everybody is looking for you," they said. But he does not come back. He refuses to bask in acquired popularity. He goes away. He moves on. He wants to be all over wherever people's distress beckons him. That is his mission. That is also his passion. That is why he came from the Father. There is also the messianic secret to be kept. Therefore, he prefers to avoid the jubilation of crowds. Let us go elsewhere, to the neighboring country towns, so that I can preach there too, because that is why I came. Let us also not remain closed in on Capernaum. Let us reach beyond our achievements and our successes. Let us also go further to the encounter of all who seek the God of love, all who look to meet those who come in God's name. Let us open our eyes to see men and women looking for an answer in their total disarray. Let us go in the peace of Christ.